Are you a win or take all founder who wants to scale to 8 figures and needs a marketing specialist or a marketing guy to help you get to that next level? Now, by winner take all, I mean you genuinely believe your product is the best. You want to destroy your competition, so you will literally want to outdo them. You want to scale to between 10 and 100 million. You're an action taker. You're aggressive in your growth, and the key point, you understand your product inside out. If that's you, great. You fixed that. Now, if you're stuck at a certain scaling point, usually it's between 50 to 100k or 20 to 50k. Then keep watching. Now, why do people get stuck at these specific scaling points? Let's run through that. So, good thing is people who get to that 20k, 50k, 100k per month or even more, they've proven that there's demand for the product. So that's the number one core thing you need. But when trying to scale, you'll run through one of these 5 issues, or maybe all 5. Number one, when you try to, say, scale up whatever your marketing strategy is, whether it's organic, whether it's paid, when you're doing it at scale, the cost per acquisition tends to go up. And you've never done that before, basically. If you're running paid ads, to make it simple, you're going from 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 a day. You've never done that kind of spend. You've never done that type of level. And what will tend to happen is your CPAs will come up, your ROIs will go down, and you've got no experience in that. So in your mind, you're unsure how to kind of break that next level. Now, one other problem is that maybe as you scale, you're not even tracking it, which I've seen quite commonly. So this is kind of problem one. If you're not tracking it, and you can't even tell your CPAs are going up, so you may think you're making more revenue, but profit is basically the same. Problem 2, you don't have a P&L sheet to break down your business from back to front. And by P&L, I mean your marketing expense, your operation, your logistics, everything from start to finish. You don't have that easily available to you. Because these 2 problems, you have problem 3, which is you're constantly stressed, you're overworked, you can't delegate because you can't find people with the right skill set. Now, usually this is a hiring problem. You're not able to find the people you need to help kind of scale, to help delegate your pieces out, basically. Problem 4 is you have no systems and SOPs to automate and delegate to other team members. So even if you bring the right people in, you've not built out the right assets to properly train them, properly get them to that next level, and also have the expectations. When bringing someone in, it's going to take between 4 and 12 weeks before they even are able to get the ROI in a way. And 5 is because of all 4 of these problems, you're not able to focus on that bigger picture because you're stuck in the day-to-day, meaning that you are usually running the whole operation, you're running the logistics, so you can't think about how can I scale this, how can I make the other systems better. Now, founders who are making $1 million per month have 3 things you don't. They have a P&L sheet and they're all under one dashboard. They can easily access it no matter what. They've created everything they need. They've spent the time to create the SOPs, the documentation, everything they need to kind of scale. And they have 3 core teams. You've got product, marketing, and operations. Now, I'm going to ask you something. Do you have a central dashboard that links to everything? Like I said before, like all our top tier founders, do you have that central dashboard where it's easy to access all the data and make the best decisions for your business? If not, let me show you. So you should have something like this where you can see the revenue, what your long-term plan is, the website data, everything from start to finish should be easily to see it basically, and what is working on each project and all the resources at the bottom. Same thing here, each client we have is slightly different. And with that, you should have a sheet somewhat like this. You should be able to see your revenue, your fixed costs, your employees, your inventory, all this type of stuff. Also, if I show you this one here, the breakdown of your website, really easy and see it week on week. I know people use Shopify, but you need to spreadsheet everything basically. Why do I know this? Like, why do I know you need all these things that I've just shown you? It's because I've taken businesses both to 7 and 8 figures in revenue and valuation. And if you're looking to no longer be stressed and focus on the big stuff that moves business forward, delegate your marketing to someone who can scale you to 7 or 8 figures smoothly, can remove all the guesswork, and you want to know your business metrics inside and out, meaning you want to see the LTV, the CAC, the LTV to CAC ratio, which is very popular now, all the little pieces, what you want to know, profit per product, what promotion we're running, how is that effectively looking in the long term, how, if the customer is buying on day 1, which products are they buying separately, and you want someone to come in, help you build out the SOPs, the training materials, and the operations, then you're in the right place. Here's what we're going to go through over the next few slides. Nice little animation. Now, my name's Adam, and that's my co-founder, Mustafa. We founded an agency called IC, or Interconnection, 2-3 years ago. In that business, we learned how to scale businesses 10K a month, 100K a month, million a month. We collectively generated over $15 million in revenue for clients over 2.5 years. We've worked in 8 different sectors, and we personally managed accounts over 200K spend per month. And just to show you that we're not waffling, here is accounts and the dates here with over £200,000 to spend. I think that's just showing you how much you made one time in a day. Here's a multiple 100k months, and yeah, and then just different screenshots. But we'll get more into that a little bit down the line. Now, I want to walk you through what we are and what we're not. So we are a growth partner. Our ideal scenario is to work with a few clients, but scale them big. We want to make them the best in their market. We want to take them to the top, and we also make sure we don't work with any of their competitors, because it's kind of counterproductive. Our LTV with the client, our long-term, lifetime value is between 2 and 5 years. That means that we take you from a million to 10 million, or from 100k a month to a million a month. We take you to that process. And ideally, the longer you stay with us, the better. We actually deal with your product team, your logistics, your operations team. We work with each person to integrate marketing into it. And as you scale, that's one of the key things you're going to need. There's no point in me running more ads if I know you've not got enough inventory, or if I know the product's going through a certain stage. So these are key things that we do, and we build all the spreadsheets, all the systems, everything you need to scale. Your standard marketing agency works with as many clients as possible. They work with competitors. The LTV is really low, between 1 and 3 months, and they don't integrate really well with your actual product team. And your standard agency will work with anyone, whereas we don't. We work with very specific types of people. Now, we specifically work with founders who want to scale to 8 figures. 8 figures is the minimum. If you're self-funded, you must have done 200k in revenue, and you currently be making around 20k per month. And you've demonstrated that you can get reoccurring revenue. So you have proven that the market does want what you are offering. Unless you have one of those businesses that, has evergreen demand, is that like events, film, or students, for example. And the key thing is, we want you focused 100% on that business, unless you're vertically integrating multiple businesses into one. If you are seed funded, you must have raised at least £1 million. You have a very clear value proposition, and you have a product engineer basically ready to work with marketing. That's one of the key things. In my first agency, we figured out 2 things which allows businesses to scale to that 7 to 8 figure mark. The 10M formula, our proven framework to scale any business to 10 million and beyond, and the attention flywheel, which increases our ROAS and lowers our CAC. So what are the conditions to scale any business to 10 million, and why can't every business get there? So I call this the 10M formula, and within that you have the 3 gears of growth and the 3 pillars of power. 3 gears of growth are the 3 teams that you need dedicated. You need marketing and sales, product experience, and operations and logistics. Essentially, marketing brings in the people, directs them, and helps them convert. The product experience keeps them there, it causes them to buy again, and it also causes them to refer. And with the operation logistics, the whole point is to scale that, to scale the back end side of stuff. There's no point in me bringing loads of people in if you can only have 100 pieces. I want 1,000 pieces. And that's why you need these key pieces, or the key gears. Then you have the 3 pillars of power, which is essentially product market fit, clear and concise data, and multi-platform acquisition. So people seeing the value of your solution in the marketplace, you being able to see the data really easily and attribute what's happening, where everything's coming from, and being able to have marketing that can stack on each other. But I'll walk through that a bit later. So I personally believe that you only grow until you are constrained. So, for example, when you start a business, the first kind of rapid growth period you have is when you find product market fit. So you'll be testing, and eventually you'll find a product that the market wants, and you'll have just a massive spike. And that's usually going from 0 to 1, from no purchases to 2 purchases. Then you'll hit another plateau. So then it'll be like, how can I then scale this to more people? And this is when you'll find the marketing channel. So you'll be stagnant. You'll find the right marketing channel, whether it's in person or whether it's paid ads. Usually people use paid ads or organic. And then you'll have that another spike of growth where, you're getting now a load of people in. Then what will happen is that you have no more hours in the day. So then you need to hire your first employee, and you have another spark of growth. So this is how businesses tend to grow. They go until they're furthest constrained. It doesn't matter how many customers you bring in. If I bring you 1,000 customers, you're still going to be constrained because you've not hired your first employee. So that's how I believe businesses tend to grow. And that's what we work with our clients. Now, this is how it starts when you're running a business. Usually you are the marketing, product, and logistics. And the key thing is you found product market fit. So these are the 4 things that you have mastered to start it and get it rolling. Now, what's going to happen is naturally the first thing you're going to outsource is logistics, or you're going to basically help someone pack your product or help someone do the operations of it so you can deliver the product without you being there. That's usually the first thing that you tend to do. Whether they do it entirely at once or they just aid you. Usually that's the first thing. And the reason why is the fact that it's the easiest. Now, once you've kind of mastered that, you'll be left with these two pieces: marketing and sales, and product and experience. Now, the problem is that you can't be the best at both of them. You can either be really good at making your product and your experience better, or you can keep selling it, keep getting better at that. But it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to be the best at both of these. And remember, these big businesses, they have the team delegated. So someone is dedicated to being the best at that in their business. What will happen is, because you don't have time, and usually you want to keep improving the product, you'll try to scale up your marketing, and you'll have that exponential growth piece, and then you'll plateau again. And usually your CAC is going to rise, so your cost to our customer, and your ROAS is going to decrease. Now, that's number one. Number two is that you don't actually know what's going to happen because you've not got everything set up. You don't have a tracking sheet, you don't have the data. So I've seen this happen before. But one of these two things is going to happen. Now, this is where we come in. We come in and we take that piece and help you scale it, and we help you break through that kind of barrier. And we also add these two pieces, which a lot of founders don't tend to have. They don't have data in front of them to make the best decisions. It's usually just gut instinct and feeling on their feelings. And they don't have acquisition channels that benefit off each other in a way. And I'll walk you through that in a sec. Now, the common problems you're going to run into when you're trying to scale and you're at that piece where it's just you, your marketing and your product, is basically one of these. You're going to have a churn problem, which is you have a load of people coming in, but then they're also leaving at the same rate. You have a customer profile submarket problem. So basically, you don't actually know which customer is getting the most benefit from your product. Usually, that's a service-based business. You have a conversion rate problem where you're getting a load of people, but your shopping experience is really bad. And the final one, which everyone has, is a CPA increase, where CPMs are getting more expensive as years go on. And you need to be able to kind of outdo this. Your LTV needs to be high. So how do you solve the churn problem and the customer profile problem? Now, I call these sister problems because they're really related. Usually with the customer profile, it's you're putting ads out and the messaging is a little bit broad, and you're bringing in loads of people and they're buying, which is great, but they're not repeat buying. And the main problem there is the fact that you're going to try to scale your business up with that, but because you don't have the right customers and they're not getting the most value, they're not buying again, which obviously relates to churn. Now, how would you solve that? Very easily, especially if you've got loads of customers coming in and you've had at least between 100 to like 500 customers. All you need to do is call the top 10%, bottom 10% right out there characteristics. Some people do surveys, polls, it's fine. You just need to understand who is getting the most value out of your product or what you're serving. And from that, you cut out the rest. And the problem is if you've already built a business to say 70K a month, and you then need to kind of go down a little bit because you're cutting out all the bad people. I think that's where the hard piece then comes in. But sometimes you need to go down to go back up. And then that kind of also solves the churn problem. Now with churn, I do also segregate this because churn could also just genuinely be a product problem. So you could be over-delivering or overselling, and under-delivering. So you're promising this and the product's actually doing this. There's two solutions for that. So you either genuinely sit there and improve the product, but how can you improve the product if you're sat there marketing all the time, if you know what I mean? So in that way, you need to bring someone into market so that you can work on the product. Or what you do is you just decrease the price. You are too expensive for what you're selling. For example, if you're selling £1,000 offer and people are churning out, if you were to just reduce that to £100, I guarantee you more people would stay. It's just not economically feasible. Usually what you want to do is just make your product better, genuinely. And the reason why you want to genuinely make the problem better is because you want to prioritize LTV. LTV is what's going to allow you to buy the more expensive customers. The next problem is a conversion rate problem. So I'll run you through this. So here's an example of a website that we were sent. Seems okay. On the surface, it seems all right, but there's so many problems here and the conversion rate was quite low. What we do is we go over it and we add in all the key things that we've seen work from the top websites or top brands that we've worked with. Essentially, one of the main things you want is just reviews. So we've imported TikTok reviews, we've imported video reviews, and with a product like this, it's a hair product, you want to put a lot of emphasis on the reviews. So little changes like this can convince people. It's not the fact that you've not got a good product. It's the product's there, but it's the fact that in your landing page, it just doesn't convert the right person. Or you may be having a lot of pages that just don't need to be there. So depending on what stage you're at, some people, when they have single products, it's just like we can really hone in. when you have multi-products, you have to try a slightly different approach. But this would be an example. You can see here on the left-hand side, really, really plain. On the right-hand side, we've inputted reviews. We've made it very clear what the value proposition is. We've got the 30% off your first order. We've got what you call it, your Klarna, your different payment methods. And again, we would still keep iterating on this as well. We've mentioned the article they were in, and probably would shift that up more. And with CRO, you keep testing out different pieces. But yeah, you can see the main difference here, and this is what we would say a conversion problem is. You're not able to display your value proposition great enough, or you're not able to build enough trust, usually. Your final problem is your CPAs are increasing. Now, there's two reasons for that. Number one, you're scaling to a colder audience, and as you go to a colder audience, meaning that people are problem unaware, or they're not resonating with your solution as much because you've not explained it well enough, it becomes hard to advertise to, or more expensive to advertise to, and then CPMs are also increasing. So you've got two things that are working against you. Number one, every year it's getting more expensive to advertise, and number two, your ads that are you need to recreate new ads to explain to this colder audience of people. And I'll prove this as well. So we've got a client example where we ran their events based. You can see here that in 2024, the CPM for this event was 332 and 287. And in 2025, it was 458 and 501, between a 37% increase and a 74% increase. So CPMs are can really drastically change each year and really mess up your advertising strategy. Now, how do we combat this? We've created something called an attention flywheel. So your standard person or your standard agency, what they'll do is they view it very linearly. You've got attention, which is bringing the person in, directing them, and they either convert, they don't convert. What we do is we do something called a re-engagement loop. Essentially, what we keep doing is we keep re-engaging them with our content or with our ads until they convert. Now, basically what we do is here, we run 4 methods of trying to get that re-engagement loop consistent, like quite consistent basically. Now, number one, we'll do it in order. You got organic. So let's say your attention source is organic. You're running content marketing, which is usually the cheapest way to get customers. It proves your product market fit, and you only need one video to get 20, 30K views, and you'll get a sale usually. That'll be your first method of bringing someone in. Then you run paid ads on top of that. So someone's seeing you from the paid, something from the organic, and now they're seeing you from the paid as well. So they're re-engaging. And with paid, it's usually offer-based, whereas with organic, it's a different system you use or different way to scale. Now, the good thing about paid is obviously it's the easiest way to scale. You literally press a button and it prints cash. And if you get the right ad, it can run for a very long time. So you've now got the organic constantly going out. Let's say you're doing 2 videos a day, and then you've got paid and again re-engaged with. Then you've got going live, which is the third kind of a part of the attention flywheel. So now, as they're seeing your paid ads, and you'll see this down the line, and they're seeing your organic, they'll see your live, so they'll go on and they'll interact with you. That then builds more trust. And if you notice, each of these will start to build more trust, which then allows us to then get that conversion. With going live, what we found is that it allows you to have that one-to-one kind of communication, but you have the leverage that you're actually doing it across everyone essentially. So back in the day, you would have it in like a store, one-to-one with the customer clerk. Now that one conversation is scaled to thousands of people. And with this, it allows you to sell higher AOV items basically, because you're having that one-to-one connection. And the final thing, which is hard, but if you get it right, it will scale, is your organic reviews. What will happen is if you get people making TikToks about, or if you get people making videos, YouTube videos, TikTok about your product on where your ideal marketing channel is, you will see exponential growth, because it increased the trust so much and it's all seems very legitimate. And when you run these as ads, they tend to do really, really well. They outperform most of your regular ads. So with that, you have this constant flywheel of content going out. Agency 1 focuses on just 1 or 2, whereas with us, we focus on all 4, and we help you kind of train up that and get that system in place. I'll show you examples basically of organic helping paid. So as you can see here, here's us spending some paid amount, and you can see here's the number of link clicks and here's the number of Instagram profile visits. Now, what I want you to see here is, and this number's a little bit glitched, is that there's a percentage of people who see your ad and they click. And just look at this. Obviously, we don't work with Simmer, we just found a screenshot. I want you to see this logically. You've seen this ad on Instagram. There's 2 CTAs here. You have order now, and you have the profile and then the story as well. Naturally, you're going to check the profile and you're going to see how legitimate it looks. And this is one of the key things. You can have the same ads, same everything, same setup, but if your Instagram account doesn't look legit, it doesn't have the key things that will help increase the trust in your customer, then the conversion rate will basically decrease. And you can see it here very, very clearly. Number two, when you're using organic and you've started off with organic, what you can then do is use a create a custom audience of the Instagram account of the followers, and the same with TikTok as well, and you can make a lookalike of that. Here are, let me just move my face. Here are two examples where you've got two very similar purchases, very similar spend, and one has got 5.71 ROAS, and the cost of purchase is just a lot cheaper. Only just because we built the warm audience through the organic, and also the people who are coming through the ads, they're able to see the page, and they're more likely to convert because the page looks legit. If you can solve all these problems and these specific four, and these should really be the only four you're going to run into. As you scale, it'll be one of these. As you spend more, you'll be hitting a colder audience. Is your churn might go up because you're still hitting the right people. As you scale to a cold audience, you need to change your landing page. So it'll be one of these four you're going to have. Your marketing should basically look like this. You find a customer, they buy, they either want to buy again or they refer, or ideally they do both. That's how it should be, and you'll have that exponential rise. And that's what you want, basically. Now, we've learned this from working with companies and businesses for over 3 years. I've just thrown a few examples on here. So I'll walk you through a few. So in Aggregator Wholesale was our second ever client back in 2022. In 6 weeks, we took them from 2 grand to 10 grand per month. And then we managed to maintain them at 20K per month. And the only reason we couldn't go more is because of a stock issue. And that's where I learned that stock is really, really key. And we were able to do over 180,000 or 190,000 since we'd worked with them over that time span. We'd spent £9,100 on ads. We made a 20 times return. Our average cost to acquire customer was £50. AOV was £300. And you can see a little screenshot here as well. We did a few tests outside of the ads manager where we used bigger buyer funnels and different type of things we did. Vintage Vero, we made multiple 10K days, 15K days. You can see here's the screenshots of them saying it. Here's like different time periods as well. And we've done over 283,000 in £1 to £3 ticket sales. So consider that these are £1 and £3 ticket sales to go to an event. We've done over 280,000 in sales, and we've done over 1.7 million natural revenue with them since they've been working with us. Number three, we worked with Tilt right at the beginning when they were just in their pre-seed round. We joined in, and we were actually the first marketing people there. We took them from pre-seed round all the way to Series A by ourselves, me and my business partner, and they're currently valued at 56.8 million. You can see here a few screenshots and stuff all the way back in 2023. We've got multiple Bark testimonials. You can check if you just search Bark, multiple screenshots, multiple testimonials, and so on. So what is the difference between the sub 50K per month model and post 50K per month model? And I put 50K per month because I usually that's when you want to implement the next set of strategies. So 50K per month, usually you can just run paid ads to call traffic. You can use discounts from people in. You can rely on the data from the ads manager, and you can just do one channel. Post 50K per month, or as you're scaling, you need to create both 40 organic pieces and 40 paid pieces per month. You use founder organic content to warm up and scale to a cold audience. You remarket to that audience with paid ads, and you get cheap CPAs. You then run TikTok. You then go live on TikTok and other platforms to increase the conversion rate and have that one-to-one touch. From that, we can record and also turn that into ads. You build out landing pages consistently to see what works, and this is dependent on how many sessions you're getting. And the winning organic, again, that's being used. The winning organic can then be used as paid, and with that, we're able to decrease your CPMs and increase your ROAS because you're consistently making a warmer audience. You're not scaling to a colder audience anymore. You're making a warmer audience because they've seen you again and again, and they're more likely to engage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the visualization of the new method that we found. Number one, you do organic first, which is you just run the founder content to see what works and what doesn't. It's the cheapest way to get customers, and the aim is, even though you're getting views, is to convert people. And at these even low 16,000 views, 50,000 views, you can still get a lot of conversion from there. Now, the good thing about organic is that once you found the winning piece, it can be turned into an ad. And you can see here we've got 1.2 million because that ad was just consistent. Number two, you then run paid. Like I said before, you're not able to achieve numbers like this where you spent 3,000 and made 30,000 back, or if you've spent 5,000, you made 35,000 back. You then have CRO, which I'll walk you through. CRO is then just going back over what we talked about before, redoing the pages, showing the reviews more, increasing the key points and what people want to see. Now with CRO, what you also want to do is interact with your customer, call them and see what's happening and measure them, make the clear measurement tests. And that's what one thing we do, we call customers. you want to go live, and I'm going to walk you through this because this is one of the things that we were testing out. So you can see here, right, as we're running the ad, you can see that it says live on TikTok. So as you're already hitting that new traffic, a lot of people are going to funnel into that. Live. So if we check here now, immediately they get to have that interaction with you. Now, how you set that up is up to you, but that's what you want to see. And ideally, it's not limited to anything. So it really comes down to your business model. It doesn't matter if you're e-commerce, if you're service-based, you're high ticket. If you're running this model, you'll gain a lot of trust and people have that one-to-one connection with you. And the final thing is the organic reviews. So when your product is genuinely really good and people enjoy it, people will start posting them online. People will start posting reviews online. The old method was just your Trustpilot reviews. The newer method is posting actual videos. Now, depending on the niche, it can be easier or harder. So there's two good pieces that happen with the organic reviews. Number one, what happens is that these people are kind of feeding their audience to you. So when you're running paid ads, what will happen is you'll see a decrease in cost per purchase because your core audience of the lookalike, which was the Instagram followers and Instagram engaged, is now expanded because they've sent their audience to you. So that's one piece. And number two as well, because they've just made a video on you that's doing really, really well and they're saying that your product's really, really good, it increased the trust so high that people are more likely to convert anyways. So I've seen this multiple times with brands that I've worked with, and that's one of the key things you want with paid ads. If you're stuck at a certain level, having these organic reviews, people outputting a lot of reviews about your stuff, usually even just from regular people, will increase your conversion rate a lot, and it will decrease your CAC because it has that level of trust. So what is our offer? What is our offer to prove ourselves? Now look, if you want to scale and you want to see everything I've talked about actually works, we do something called a 6-week turnaround where we build you a Notion dashboard and all the marketing sheets. We create 40 organic content pieces. We create 20 ads, video, and then 20 photo ads. We'll rebuild your landing page if needed, and we'll run all your ads, manage everything, and we'll implement all the additional subsystems. So let me show you exactly what I mean. As shown before, you'll be given a dashboard here, so you're able to compile everything, which is one of the key things that you need. You're then given 3 to 4 sheets. So you'll be given a leading indicator sheet, something like this, from all the previous data you've done to see what works and what doesn't as leading indicators. You'll be given an in-depth marketing sheet, so each week we'll go through it. We'll see what the purchase rate is, the initial checkout rate is, and we'll see really what we want to know is your new customers and your returning customers. Because if we have a ratio like this where it's basically 50-50, we want to increase the new customers coming in, but it's obviously really good that you have a lot of returning customers. You'll be given a P&L sheet, which breaks everything down, and we'll go through each of your expenses so you can see it very thoroughly and make the best call. And you have a pay media log, which looks something like this. So every single day we update this log, and you have the total, what happened throughout the day, and then what it was 3 days prior. And that's an easier way for you guys to view the ads without needing to log on to Ads Manager. Everything that we test is done here as well. So each test that we'll do, we'll usually state the date, and then we'll usually put the link, and then we'll tell you how well it's done. You also have this sheet as well, which is you have access to all the organic videos, whether you approve or disapprove them. Really straightforward, and we'll go through it again, and you can revise them on Frame. We drop these every Friday. What we'll then do here is run you through this system here on FigJam, where first we'll understand the business very thoroughly. We'll understand what problem you're solving, what's the outcome, and who your ideal customer is. We'll then run you through the organic pieces that we'll make and confirm which ones you're okay with and you're not okay with. We'll then run you through the 20 ad styles that we know that convert, both photo and videos, and these are all updated. We have emails that we do also to add on as well. We'll then redo the CRO. We'll go over all the key pieces, and then usually we'll create something like this. And if you're a lead-based business, we would again have your landing page made. We'd have the VSL, and we'd walk you through how to make that piece, and then we would then help you understand the process. Each person's process is slightly different, but it follows a kind of same formula. How you set an appointment, how you do a closing call, and then what the form is they're going to usually fill out as well, or depending if they book straight into your calendar. So we'll run you through this process. Within that 6-week turnaround, one of our best results is adding 50K within the 6 weeks. You can see here this was March time, we did 72K and we did over 119K with the systems I previously mentioned. Now, what does this do? It proves the model works for your business. It gives us a good chance to see if we're a good fit. And regardless, you get to keep all the assets. Everything we've made, you get to keep it. What happens after 6 weeks? If you're happy with us and we're happy with you, ideally we want to move on to a growth partnership agreement. Now, ideally, we're looking for 24 growth partnerships we want to work with who want to scale to at least 10 million per year. We want to go the long-term game, basically. Now, if you're happy and you're interested, if you scroll down below, you'll be able to see a calendar link. Just book in with me directly and we'll have a chat, make sure we're a good fit, and if so, we'll do a 6-week turnaround. Thank you.